You have to lift it up onto the bed frame and then twist it and then like that. Actually, she's doing virtuals.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Niagara University's virtual open house. I think that's my cue to start now. So I'm Tom Burns, Associate Vice President for Public Relations here at the university, and it is great to have you here today for our interactive and informative program. The open house, we know for you, is one of the most exciting parts of a college search. You get to go to the campuses and that. Today, we're not doing that exactly that way, but we're grateful that you've let us into your homes and you're into our homes in many instances here. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what makes Niagara University so special. It was our preference to host you on our campus this morning, but our priority is always the health and safety of everybody in our campus community. That includes you, our prospective students. We are, if you do want to come to campus, we are still offering small group visits and tours in person. Register for those on our website, and all those visits adhere to stringent health and safety protocols. You'll actually hear from some of our students today, and they will talk to you a little bit about all the things we've done to make the campus community safe for the entire community. They've been engaged in a living learning experience while being socially distant. And we're going to give you a glimpse of the many ways that the Campus Activities Office is also helping students have fun and stay connected during this, our most unusual year. As we get started today, I just want to make you aware of a few things. First off, this session is being recorded, so you'll have the opportunity to rewatch it, catch anything you may have missed. Anyone who isn't speaking, please mute your microphone. We try and do that, but it helps with the background noise. So just check your microphones there and make sure that you're muted. And as soon as you can, please comment in the chat section with your name and high school. We love the relationships that we build with all of our students here at NU, and we want to get a better sense of who's with us online today. And since we plan to dedicate plenty of today's program to answering your questions, feel free to type in your questions in the chat section as early as you'd like, and we'll answer as many of those we can in just a little while. But today is all about helping you find out if NU is the right school for you. And mark my words, as you continue your search process, you're going to notice many of the institutions that you engage with will say similar things. Our goal in this time we have with you is to help you understand three major attributes that differentiate us and the things that NU students graduate with, and springboard them really into their careers and success. The first thing you'll find at Niagara is our education delivers a coveted 21st century degree, one that empowers graduates with skills and confidence to excel as professionals and people. Niagara is where you'll gain a greater sense of self-assurance that arises from an appreciation of your academic, athletic, social, spiritual, and creative abilities. You'll also get a firm grasp of where you want to go through your participation in a vast array of academic, research, leadership opportunities, and help you maybe even formulate a postgraduate game plan to realize your fullest potential. Our faculty are among the most highly accredited, credentialed in the world. They're talented, caring mentors. They provide you with a clarity of direction, both during and after your time at NU. Once you graduate, you don't finish with us. We keep you forever. And third, the program is informed by our Vincentian heritage, and becoming a member of the Niagara family will instill a heightened sense of purpose for you through your student life, service learning, study abroad experiences, and many other opportunities on our campus. Our community engagement programs make a sustainable impact in two forms. They better the lives of the marginalized and offer a sense of accomplishment that enriches your learning. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce one of our seniors who has a brief message that she recorded to share with you about her experience and the power of Niagara University. I'm going to turn things over to Kelsey Cullinan for this message. Kelsey.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Cullinan, and I'm a senior math education major here at Niagara University. I'd like to share a bit of my journey here at Niagara with you. I first found Niagara University going into my senior year of high school. I was immediately drawn by NU's commitment to early internships and career preparation. This, coupled with our average class size of 19, sealed the deal. College can be scary, regardless of if you know you've found the right fit. I'd like to take you through a few of my biggest concerns coming into college and how Niagara already had systems in place to ensure I was on the path to success. My biggest concern coming into college wasn't dorming or finding where my classes were, but Calculus 1. Many students wonder whether they'll be able to keep up in college classes or if classes will be enjoyable. I was met the first day with a captivated speaker, innovative teacher, and a brilliant researcher whose passion was clearly teaching math at high levels. Her name was Dr. Mangum. Luckily for me and all NU students, Dr. Mangum is not alone in this. Now you may be thinking, well, this is great for normal times, but what about COVID teaching? I'd like to highlight Dr. Joel Lausma, who last semester pivoted a linear algebra class online in a matter of days. Our in-person class was nearly all inquiry-based learning and group work. This did not change on Zoom. We still met live, online, and engaged in academic discussion for every class block. The very theory I learn about in my education classes is how I am being taught by the experts of the field. It is the academic life here at Niagara that has given me the confidence that I will be well qualified to serve the people our mission calls us to. Secondly, students, and let's be honest, parents too, wonder whether their students will graduate knowing what they truly want to do. For some, this will mean what field of study, and for others, this will be a question of what to do in their respective fields. In my almost 4 years here at Niagara, I have had 6 internships, all organized by the university. These internships have narrowed a very broad field of education into teaching in an urban middle school. As I head into graduate school, it is that clarity of direction that is able to point me straight where I would like to go. Thirdly, students fear they won't be fulfilled by whatever they choose for their major. Students are looking for a sense of purpose. I came to Niagara having barely heard of St. Vincent de Paul. From what I knew, Niagara students did community service and prayed for the poor, but our education extends beyond the classroom. Our classroom instruction places purpose behind knowledge. Poverty is not just financial, and each of our 80+ majors and minors have an integral role in preparing tomorrow's leaders to tackle the problem of poverty using their respective fields. Niagara will help you discover your why. I'd like to close with a single experience of mine that proves that Niagara has people and systems in place to prevent each of these concerns from ever coming to fruition. Fall of my junior year, I took middle childhood philosophy and practice with Dr. Paul Vermette. Dr. Vermette approached my classmate Megan and I about the possibility to travel to another university and speak to a few classes there. What seemed like a far-fetched idea ended up being fully funded by the university. This trip would allow Megan and I to speak with teacher candidates from an entirely different set of lived experiences than ourselves at a historically Black university about their experience with culturally relevant teachers. Megan and I were not only able to work on our public speaking skills, lesson planning, research skills, and add a notch to our resume, but we were able to have meaningful conversations with students of a completely different set of lived experiences than ourselves. Dr. Vermette took the time to get to know our small class, a class of 8, and realized that both Megan and I had a passion for inner-city urban middle schools. Our Dean's Office and Mission Integration Office exists to help students live out their passion. And for both of us, this trip symbolized a heightened sense of purpose we had in our careers. This trip and the conversations we had solidified the direction we both saw our careers headed in. Because of the people I touched on today and many more, I can confidently say that when I graduate in May, I know what I want to do, but more importantly, I know why I want to do it. Thank you.
Great job, Kelsey. And what you'll find out when you do come to campus, if you are able to come to campus, is that Kelsey's story is not unique. It's very common among our students, and you'll get to engage with some of our students as you walk around, and you'll find that almost every single one of them will have the relationships that they have with the professors that Kelsey talked about, and those experiences, your ability to get hands-on experience right in your freshman year. And that's beneficial as you start to chart your path forward through your career at Niagara, and obviously in your personal and work career after that. The next thing we also know that people want to know, other than their experiences, about the admissions process and of course financial aid. And we're going to turn that over to someone who will help you find out what you need to know about that entire process of your college search. Today, joining us to offer us tips on Niagara and securing one of the university's generous scholarships is our co-director of first-year enrollment, my friend and colleague, Stephanie Buchkowski. Stephanie?
Good morning, Tom. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone else for being here today. We really appreciate it. We certainly do miss the in-person interaction with you, but still we hope that this can, kind of deliver as much as we can that would have been in person for you. So thank you so much for being here. I'm here to talk a little bit about the admission process, kind of the things that we look for in the application, how to apply and things like that. So if we can move to the next slide about thank you. So about admissions criteria, kind of what we look for. So I think we probably have a mixed bag today of students that are present, maybe who are seniors, have already been accepted, maybe are just looking to apply, or juniors, possibly transfers, all of that could be here today. So, but just to give you an overview, so admissions criteria for Niagara and how we, with the application process. So with us, you can apply two different ways. Both are free all the time. You don't have to worry about a fee with us at all, but we have our personal application on our website always, and then we are also a member of the Common App. So you have both options with that. Either one is perfectly fine. I will say that the NU application is probably just a little bit shorter, a little bit simpler. You're not required to submit an essay and things like that if you are looking, unless you're looking at nursing, which I'll talk about. But you have those two different options there. And we are a rolling admission. So those of you that have not applied yet, what that means, you're going to look at a lot of different schools that have different processes or deadlines and things like that in terms of their admission policies. We don't have a deadline for the application. Okay, so what happens is we're constantly processing the applications as we get them. Once we do get your application, it takes us maybe about a few weeks or so to let you know if you've been accepted, unless there's a break or something along those lines. But we do move pretty quickly, which is nice. So there's not really a waiting game at all when it comes to the admission decisions. And what we look for, so obviously the application itself, along with your transcript, official transcripts. We can accept unofficial, just kind of reviewing some things, but we need official eventually to make a decision. Letters of recommendation, very important. We don't necessarily require them, although students, I will say more often than not, certainly do, probably an average of 2 we receive. And for letters of recommendation, I would say, especially for like our competitive program for nursing, very, very important. We really like to see something along the lines of maybe from a counselor, a chemistry, possibly bio, health, something along those lines is very helpful in doing the review process, especially for the competitive program. Essay also is required for the nursing applicants. Now the Common App has an essay portion to it, as some of you may already know. So if you're applying with the Common App, and that's obviously going to come right along with the essay as a part of that. But the essay for, like I mentioned, for our personal application, which is not required, but we would ask if you're applying for nursing to please submit an essay, hopefully something along the lines of why you would like to be a nurse. So something like that would be great. We are a test optional school, like probably the whole rest of the country now, right? So unfortunately, with all the testing cancellations that happened, we couldn't really have a hard line with that. So we've actually been test optional for the last 3 years. So for us, it wasn't really too much of a change in our general admission process. But for the 2 majors that always did require SATs or ACT scores, which is the biology or nursing, those 2 are now also test optional. So regardless of what you're looking at, you're not required to submit scores to us. So it's completely up to you. If you have them, great, submit them, but they're not required. And merit scholarship based, I'll talk a little bit more about that when it comes to the financial aid portion. So if we can move to the next slide, that'd be great. Thank you. So This is a program that is wonderful. It's a VIP program. What happens is just comes with kind of a lot of perks. It puts you really as a priority to us. I mean, all of our students are a priority, but if you were to apply by December 31st, you would come in and you VIP, obviously, and then that 1 week application review time, turnaround time is very quick. So as I said, we are coming up to a break soon with the holidays, so I know that might, change that a little bit in terms of the decision process, but we will move very quickly with reading your application. And with all the other things, as you can see that you had a campus store voucher, different, special events you might be invited to, all those kinds of things. So I highly recommend, you're probably getting some mailings and that about it now, especially if you're a senior. This definitely applies to those that are seniors right now. So. Thanks. So helpful tips. So when you are applying and you're looking at Niagara, you are assigned a personal admissions counselor. So everyone here has a counselor that's there so they can contact, so primary contact for everything. We can't stress enough to just really get in touch with them, get to know them. There's something called demonstrated interest, which a lot of colleges look at, and that's something that can really help us gauge with you, especially maybe scholarships, things like that, which are always, of course, very important. So getting to know your counselor is great. There's a section on our website, very easy to find under admissions. It says to meet the team. And then there you can connect with your counselor. You can sign up for virtual one-on-one appointments with them if you would like, all of that, which is great. So we highly recommend, just getting to know your counselor because it's really our best way to get to know you. And when you are submitting your application, brag about yourself. This is the time to kind of sell yourself and all the things that you've done throughout your high school career. And for the same reason, like I said, besides getting to know you, but also maybe scholarships that you might apply for that you might not be aware of, all those kinds of things can be very helpful when it comes to really letting us know all about you and what you've done. And as I mentioned before, the rolling admission, but obviously the earlier the better, I will say, just for kind of peace of mind for yourself, where you know where you stand with everything for acceptance or scholarships and all that kind of stuff. So getting that in as soon as you can is always, I would recommend. Anyone who might be juniors today, I would say, I think Halloween is a good date to keep in the back of your mind to apply and have everything in by. That's what I like to tell students. So just something to keep in mind for that. And the FAFSA, I'm going to talk a little about that in a few minutes, but that opened for families on October 1st. So if you have not done that, I highly recommend, if you're a senior, to do that. And obviously October 1st of your senior year, for those that are juniors, that it'll open up at the same time. What happens is you will submit the FAFSA form and you will get financial aid packages from all of the schools that you've been accepted to. And I'll talk about a little bit more when we go into more about financial aid. So this is all the contact information for admissions. So you're welcome to take a screenshot or take a picture of it so you have it on hand if you have any questions. That's the general admissions number there, and then the general email as well. And they get filtered out. Like, so if you do have a specific question, you maybe don't know who your counselor is, you can still email that, and they get filtered out to the proper person, and we'll make sure we get all your questions answered for you. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move on a little bit about financial aid. And I think the first slide, merit scholarships. So this is very important. Now, merit scholarships, okay, because we are a private school, we automatically offer merit scholarships to you. These are strictly based on you and what you've done. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the FAFSA, nothing to do with, it's not need-based, nothing to do with income, anything like that. It's strictly just grades. And if you're going to submit your SAT or ACT scores, so that's all it's based on. So what happens is when you apply, we will automatically qualify for you this money. We also let you know your scholarship amount right along with your acceptance letter. So you know everything in that matter of like 2 to 3 week time frame, like I mentioned. So they start at $10,000, as you can see, and it goes all the way up to $23,000 a year. Now in the past as well, the trustees level scholarship used to always require SATs, but for the reason being and kind of the state that we're in with everything that happened with the testing sites and the cancellations, the trustees level scholarship now, that is also test optional. So any student can qualify for that as well, even if you're not submitting SAT scores. So the FAFSA, so as I mentioned, that's what it stands for, Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Now, if you have not filed it, or maybe you are in a situation or maybe you think you won't qualify for anything, I really can't stress enough to still submit one. That is our best way and financial aid's best way to gauge maybe scholarships you might be eligible for, getting to know your background in that. And that's how we can do those kinds of things. So I highly recommend, submitting the FAFSA form. And like I said, I believe you can put up to 10 schools on the form of where you would like your financial results sent to. Ours start going out, our financial aid packages right around first, like the first week we're back from break, so probably around mid-January, right around then. And then they usually roll out probably about every 10 days after that. So if you've already submitted it, and then you'll be in that first batch that goes out, which is great. And then there is just a kind of little plug. So December 8th coming up, there will be a financial aid Q&A night, which I actually kind of co-hosted last time we had one, and it was very, very successful and very informative. So I highly recommend, you know, even if you are a junior, I think, you know, just kind of parents, if you want to get kind of a heads up on what's coming, you're welcome to do that too, which is nice. And as I mentioned, you can sign up for the virtual one-on-one with your admissions counselor, but you can also do that with financial aid as well now too. So you can do that if you want to just do something personal. So with the financial aid package, like I said, you'll start going out early January, you'll get that. It will include your merit scholarship amount that you automatically qualify for, that's based just on your grades, and then anything else that you might be eligible for, you know, grants, loans, eligible for work study, you know, working toward your tuition, all those kinds of things will be listed, will be there for you. You can look it all over. And then I always recommend looking for outside scholarships. Also too, we have a particular kind of search engine within our application portal when students have access to that, called the Scholarship Opportunity Search. And it is strictly just Niagara scholarships. There are hundreds listed there, honestly. It can be tedious, but I think it's absolutely worth it. I mean, it's free money. You can't go wrong. So I would definitely take the time to kind of go through and see. They're funded by like alumni or different corporations, things like that. So take the time to kind of look through those. It can be very, very helpful for sure. Another thing I wanted to mention just quickly is we have something called a level tuition plan, which I think is pretty unique to Niagara. Not many schools offer it. And what it is, it's kind of like a lock-in rate. So if you automatically get a letter regarding it if you're an accepted student. So it's a simple form that you fill out. Basically what happens is you pay a slight little bit more the tuition, what it is the first year that you're with us. But then once, as the years go on, you're never affected by the annual increase. So that lock-in rate, your tuition remains locked in. I highly recommend it. I think probably over half of the families, if not more, take advantage of the level tuition plan. It doesn't apply to room and board, but it does apply to the tuition. So I definitely keep your eyes open for that. Any seniors that are out there, and I would recommend signing up for that. So here's the contact for financial aid. So if you have additional questions, that's their direct line there, and their email too. And then of course their website. So feel free to contact them if you have any questions. But once again, I just want to say thank you everyone for being here from behalf of everyone in the admissions office. And if you need anything, just get in touch with your counselors, with myself. Just enjoy the rest of the program. I turn it back over to you, Tom.
Thanks, Stephanie. Great job. Great information there. Stephanie and other members of the admissions team will be around during the live Q&A at the end of today's event, so you can touch base with her then. Also, and Stephanie mentioned this, you can also email any questions you have to admissions@niagara.edu. As Stephanie mentioned, we encourage anyone who has questions about filling out the FAFSA, one of the upcoming sessions with Katie Kosis. You can register for the December 8th session, as Stephanie mentioned, the Q&A night at niagara.edu/visitnu. And you can use that same URL to participate in online events hosted by Niagara's Office of Career Services, where you can choose from sessions on why NU teachers get hired first, where communication studies grads get jobs, how Purple Eagles are helping at Disney World, get ready for the holiday season, and so much more. With us today to tell you a little bit about how you get into your career or graduate school, and not just any one, but the one you love, the ones that you want to do, is Stephanie Morris, our Director of Career Services. Stephanie, welcome to this morning's event.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here this morning. It's really great to see all the participants. So I applaud you for getting on and joining us on a Saturday morning. Just to kind of give you a little bit of an overview of career services and how we support students. At the end of the day, our mission is pretty simple. We want to help you to achieve your goals. And we certainly recognize that everybody comes to college with a different goal in mind. So for some people, they know that they're immediately going to go on to a career. For others, their end goal requires a graduate or professional school. And we certainly have systems in place to help you to achieve those things. So we have the ability to meet with students on an individual basis. There are 5 of us in the Career Services office, and all of us kind of has a different area of expertise. And so when it comes to individual career advising appointments, we can do those both in person as well as remote. And we encourage you to start the process early. And I'll talk about what that process is in just a couple of minutes. But we find that the students that feel the most confident upon graduation and have that dream job, or they've gotten into that graduate school that they were looking forward to, are those that start their first year on campus to visit with us. We also are embedded into several courses across various curriculums. And so we have great faculty support and relationships, and the faculty really do put a premium on also helping students to achieve their goals. And so we go into different courses and talk about things like the job search process, resume and cover letter writing, interviewing skills. And some faculty choose to take that one step further, and they actually require students to do a practice interview in order to complete the class. And we're really fortunate that we have a really great network of alumni as well as employers that we work with regularly, and they actually facilitate those practice interviews. So that's a great opportunity for students to start developing their professional network, but also a lot of times those practice interviews are almost a preview. And we've had some really great success stories where employers will actually then turn around and offer students internship opportunities based on their conversations during those practice interviews. We host a number of career events each year, and we certainly have learned to pivot, and we've taken a lot of our in-person events and certainly turned them to virtual events. I will say that we certainly miss having people in a room and enticing everybody with great food, because we find that if we feed college students, they come to events. And however, when it comes to our virtual events, we have been able to invite alumni from across the country, employers that are not local. So our reach has certainly been greater, and the engagement has been great amongst the students and then our partners. We are also part of the student employment process. So when we're talking about student employment, we are talking about federal work study, but then we are also talking about part-time on-campus employment. So when it comes to federal work study placements, financial aid determines eligibility, and the Career Services Office, we help you to secure the placement across campus. We certainly put a premium on internships. I know in the video of Kelsey, where she mentioned that she has had 6 internships so far. And something that I'm really happy to announce is that starting this summer, we are able to offer stipends to students that secure unpaid summer internships. And so we know that the process is often that an internship can lead to a job. And now we are helping students to increase access to those opportunities as well. We have what we call our Get Hired portal, which Handshake is the vendor. And that is where whenever we receive information from an employer for a part-time job, an internship, a full-time job, that gets posted there. But also it works for students as well, because they can post their resume and employers are able to search the resumes that are posted. So we facilitate all of our events through there, as well as all of our opportunities. And then when it comes to our alumni and our employer connections, you know, once a purple eagle, always a purple eagle is what we often say. And we have a lot of alums that have raised their hand and they're willing to give back some of their time. And so when we have students that maybe have an idea of an industry that they want to work in, but they don't know anybody in those industries, we're able to connect with alums, and they'll facilitate informational interviews. They'll sponsor interns. So we have those really great connections, which in turn turn into your connections. Next slide, please. So when we're talking about what are the things we're helping to prepare students for, we're really focusing on these career readiness skills. And these are skills that time and time again, employers are looking for. And so when you're looking at these skills, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I developed those through my volunteer work, or I developed those through athletics that I'm involved in, or I developed those skills through courses that I've taken. And that's all true. And so when it comes to this individualized approach of working with students, we want to help you to learn how to tell your story from the lens of these career readiness skills. And so the way in which we do that is through our Pathways program. Next slide, please. So the Pathways program is a 4-step intentional career development process. And this is really where we individualize career services for each student. The first step in the process is assessment. And for many students, when you come to Niagara, you have an idea of the major that you want to study, but maybe you really aren't clear on the variety of career paths that you will have with that individual major. And this is where we can help you. And so when I say we encourage you to visit us early, freshman year, first year on campus, if you're a transfer student, make your way to our office in Balo Hall, and we'll start having these conversations with you. Sometimes assessment is something that's formal. We use the strong interest inventory. And sometimes assessment is more just a conversation of, what do you think your strengths are? What are some of the areas that you think that you could improve upon? And how do we translate that to the world of work? Once we kind of clarify what your goals are, then we're able to have conversations about next steps. So we can help you with your resume. We can help to connect you with alumni. It might be that a mentor is something that you would benefit from. From there, we really do, by junior year, most students are internship ready. And so you may complete 1, 2, 3, 4 internships before you graduate. And a lot of times internships solidify what you want to do, but sometimes an internship experience can certainly let you know that what you thought a certain role was, it definitely isn't a fit for you. And that's okay as well, because this is a whole learning process. And generally what we see that by senior year, students that have completed internships certainly have a clear idea of the direction that they're going. Many, by the time they walk across that stage, have secured employment opportunities and they're ready to really launch their career. Others have been accepted into that graduate and professional school, and they're ready for that next step in their lives as well. So you'll receive more information about the Pathways program as time goes on. And then the last bit of information that I wanted to share with you is just an overview of some of the events that we offer. So this is an outline of the events that we held this past fall. You'll notice that we really do try to have individualized events for different majors. I know that Tom was mentioning some of the events that are coming up for prospective students. I would certainly encourage you to attend some of those in the next week. I know on December 9th, there's one that's specific to theater, and we have a great alum that's going to be facilitating that workshop. And then the following week on December 14th and 15th, we have some alumni career panels for both sport management prospective students as well as business prospective students. So if theater, business, or sport management are areas that you are considering, I would certainly look for information on those events. It's a great opportunity for you to connect with our alumni and kind of hear their NU experience, their internships, and then how they have managed to get into the career that they currently have. So I will put my contact information in the chat box, but thank you everybody, and it's wonderful to be here today. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for being with us, and certainly for all you do in the career services area with our students and our alumni. And Stephanie mentioned it, unlike other colleges and universities, Niagara's Office of Career Services is a resource forever, not just as a student or a recent graduate. We have graduates come back years later looking for a connection, a contact, some advice, and we're always glad to help them. You know, at Niagara University, we often say where you live will change your life. And students tell us that living on campus adds so much to that college experience. And the data will tell us that the full immersion in that experience actually improves student success. They're more greatly engaged and have a greater experience. But I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'm going to look to one of our residence hall directors, Noah McMullen. He's going to give you a glimpse of what our residence halls look like, tell you more about what you can expect from living, learning community at Niagara. Noah, welcome to this morning's event.
Thank you so much, Tom. Hi, everybody. It's great to have you all here. Thank you for taking the time out of your Saturday morning to be here. I know it's not easy when you've got online class all week, hopping into an online Zoom session. So thank you so much. We're really happy to have you here. So residence life is really something special about college, especially undergraduate. So as you can see in our mission, really our number one goal as residence life is to prepare you to be academically successful. We want to make sure you are living in an area where you feel the most prepared to undertake your coursework. So our number one goal is academic success, and we promote that through inclusivity, through safety, and by having a welcoming community. On our campus, we can house about 1,400 students in our 7 different residential areas, and we have really a big variety. So whatever kind of ends up being your niche where you like to live, we probably have that option. We have corridor style, which is kind of set up like how you normally picture a residence hall, like a big apartment building. We have living learning communities, which are in these houses on campus. We even have apartments for our juniors and seniors. So there's really a wide variety for whatever your interest of living ends up being. Our first year students typically live in first year communities in Seton and O'Shea Hall. I'm actually the graduate residence director of Seton Hall. So if you have any questions about first year living, I'd love to help you out. We have upperclassmen in these buildings as well, but first years typically live on floors all together. That way you're kind of in a community of people in a very similar boat to you. And we do assign first year students roommates typically, but if you say you know somebody going to Niagara from your high school or from sports, or you meet them on the Facebook page, you can totally request to be roommates. And also if a single is something you're interested in, especially in these times of COVID, that's something we work into. We do have a 2-year residency requirement. So unless you're over 21 or you live within 50 miles of the campus or are married, we typically ask that you live on campus for 2 years. So before I get into why you should live on campus a little bit, I'm actually going to show you a little virtual tour of what our residence halls look like. Let me just pull it up right here. Hope everybody can see this. Oh, let's see. If you can't see my screen right now, someone please scream and shout and let me know. So this is actually something you can access online. I'll put a link in it in the chat, but this is a nice little way. So since you can't be on campus today, to show you a little bit of what our residence halls are like. So this is typically what a double room looks like in one of our first year rooms. All this wooden furniture that you see, the bed frames, the desks, the chairs, that all comes with the room, and it's super new. You can scroll around a little bit on here. There's these really nice wardrobes that are also brand new in the room. There's also a lot of floor space, and you can move around your furniture however you want. I see our first year students get very creative with how they arrange everything. You can also move around. You're probably pretty familiar with the style, but you can click on these rings and move around. So here's what one of the hallways looks like. This is the corridor style I mentioned, kind of the apartment building vibe. You can see to the left, there's one of the bathrooms. And then on the right side, there's all these different bedrooms. Over here, there's the elevator that leads down to the floors. So these buildings are 8 floors tall, but if you live on the 8th floor, there are 2 elevators. So don't worry, you don't have to get in your daily steps if you don't want to. And then if you'd like, you can also scroll up on the same page and see what the common rooms look like in these first year buildings. So they're really, really big. And this picture is actually a little old. There's brand new furniture in there now. There's bigger TVs. So there's giant TVs in these first floor lounges. You can see over here, there's a pool table. There's this big Thanksgiving table, the students call it, because you can sit all of your friends here. There's also a little kitchen on the first floor with microwaves and an oven typically. There's a ping pong table. So there's really a lot of stuff for everybody to do. So I'll put this link in the chat when I'm done speaking so you all can check this out. If we can pull up the slideshow again, that'd be perfect. So once we get the slideshow pulled up, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about the reasons you should live on campus, aside from just, all the amenities I just showed you, what benefits there are. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of really great reasons to live on campus. So living on campus is really where you get to feel the student-centered environment of attending Niagara University. So our resident students have more time to devote to their studies, but also to co-curricular activities. So because you live on campus, you have so much more time to take part in clubs and events on campus, because you can wake up 5 minutes before something starts and be there on time if you need to, which is a really special thing about living on campus. Resident students will also gain a lot of skills such as communication, leadership, negotiation, living in a community, coping with stress, time management. You live these all by living with your roommate or with the people around you and getting to interact with them. You really have a great chance to build these skills and learn this independence that a lot of students who are commuting or maybe living at home might not get the chance to have. So it's a really great time to have some time with your home away from home, as we really want it to become, and really prioritize your studies and your academic life. Our resident students, we've done several studies, also tend to earn a higher GPA than students who don't live on campus. So we really are meeting that mission statement of preparing you for academic success. And students who live on campus are also more likely to interact with faculty, assume leadership roles, attend cultural events, and utilize campus resources. So you're really getting the most out of your college experience, really getting the most out of what you're paying for. And students who live on campus typically report greater satisfaction with their college experience at Niagara. So you're really making the most of your 4 years or however many years you are in undergraduate. And one of our studies also showed that 70% of our commuters graduate in 4 years, which is a super high rate. And we're really happy with that. But even better, 94% of our resident students graduate in 4 years. So we are really promoting academic success and creating an environment in which you all can be successful. If you can take us to the next slide, please. So here's just some general contact information for the Office of Residence Life. Please feel free to email us with any emails you have. We will be here for most of break. We'll have a short break in the holiday season, but we will be answering our emails and getting back to you. Any questions you have, please send them over. I'm going to put the link to that VR tour in the chat, so please take that if you want to. And yeah, give us a call or send us an email. And thank you all again so much for being here today.
Thanks very much, Noah. That's great, great information. I'm sure our guests appreciate everything, and even the look at the residence halls. That's kind of neat. In a few minutes, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the excellent academic programs. But before we do that, we want to tell you about all that you can do at night and when you're not in class. I'm going to welcome into our conversation the guy that we call the unofficial Dean of Fun, Bill Newton, to give an overview of more than 100 clubs and activities that you can get involved in. And I know Bill says it all the time. There's always something to do at NU. Bill, good morning.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning, everybody. And yes, that is one of our taglines here at Niagara, that there is almost always something to do, and there is always something to look forward to. So I just wanted to talk to you today about take a couple minutes, talk to you about our programs, so we can go to the next slide. And then I'm going to actually introduce you to one of our students, Island Jenkins, who's going to tell you about his experience so far. But here's some of our goals in campus activities, and Noah actually just said a lot of great things there that really are in common with what we feel in campus activities too. So we want you to meet other students with similar interests. That's going to make your experience here at Niagara that much better, and you're going to do that through clubs, organizations, and attending events and activities on campus. You're going to discover a lot about yourself and a lot of the interests that you have. There might be something that isn't even on your radar right now, but when you come to Niagara and you start to meet other people and you get involved in your classwork and some clubs and activities, that you will discover some new things about yourself, really grow as a leader and as a student, and have a lot of fun, which we're also about here at Niagara. As Noah mentioned, you're going to perform better academically. There are definitely studies that show that students that are engaged in their campus, they don't just come to campus and go home if you're a commuter, or go to class and go back to your room if you do live on campus, but you are engaged in the campus. You join at least 1 or 2 clubs. What I tell new students all the time is it's easy to get overwhelmed, but at the same time, just look at joining maybe 1 club that has to do with your major and 1 club that's for fun. Maybe it's a club sport, or maybe it's one of our campus programming board or student government, those type of organizations. Get involved, all right? So there are over 100 student clubs and organizations, so there is a lot to choose from. So like I said, take advantage of those opportunities and make the most of your Niagara experience. And somebody who is making the most of his experience is Island Jenkins. So Island, I'll hand it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Saturday. I hope you guys are having a blissful holiday season. Thank you for letting us come into your homes today. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about getting involved and how it's played an integral role in my experience here at Niagara. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about NUSCA and CPB. Now, I like to think that I'm involved in the major facets of campus and campus life. So NUSCA is our student government association, and on that student government association, I serve as the class of 2023's treasurer. Within NUSCA, I'm able to have a voice. I'm able to work on various advocacy projects around campus and just, be involved in just so many moving parts of the campus. Niagara is really big on giving students a voice, giving students an opportunity to, be involved in the decision making of the campus. And, I definitely feel that by being a part of NUSCA. On the more funner side, and I know funner is not a word, but it is in my vocabulary, I am a part of CPB, which is the Campus Programming Board. So the Campus Programming Board kind of, in a sense, coordinates all events and all the fun things that we do around campus. And I serve as one of the events tri-chairs on the events committees on the executive board. So through this role, I'm able to, come up with so many creative things and ideas of how, how we want to, integrate the community on campus. And with that, it's been so much fun. So moving on from that, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about clubs that kind of like align with your major. I know Bill talked about, do a club for fun and do a club for, that's within your major. And you can do just that. Most majors on campus offer clubs within their, desired major. And one of ours is CMAA, which is the Club Management Association of America. So this is an organization on campus that is nationally registered with the Club Management Association of America, which is a professional organization. Within this, club, I'm able to serve as their vice president. I'm able to gain so much leadership. We're all big on professionalism and we're big on education. So through that, I've been able to attend various conferences. This past February, we went to Texas for a conference. Before that, we went to New York for a conference. They host conferences locally. We visit all types of clubs and things like that in the area. This past summer, I was able to do an internship that was coordinated through this specific club down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I had an exceptional time there. Through this club, we were also able to, do a lot of networking. I feel like networking is very important. And, just on the strength of this club alone, I have expanded my network times 10 just through these conferences and, local club visits and, the alumni who have graduated from the hospitality program and are still invested. They want us to succeed and they take the time to invest in us. And last but not least, this club also helps with job placement. Job placement is very important, especially now. I know a lot of, things are going on and job security is a big one, but this club is definitely still, on the rise with helping us with our job placement rating. You are bound to have a job post-graduation. So moving on from that, I do want to touch on residence life and the multicultural affairs office. So as Noah mentioned before, residence life, as Noah was talking about residence life, I serve as a community advisor. Other schools call them RAs, resident advisors, but here in Niagara, we are very big and keen on community. That's our thing. That's where we go to. And we establish those relationships through community building. And I think that's the most important part of the community advisor role. And I think that it has helped me a lot, just, being known on campus, just being able to help so many different kinds of students like yourselves coming in, nervous about the, being at college and what'll happen, their experience, helping them kind of find their way has been an awesome experience for myself. It's opened my eyes in so many different ways. And last but certainly not least, in our Office of Multicultural Affairs, I serve on an advisory board as an executive chairman that advises all of our diversity clubs on campus to help raise awareness to controversial topics that they like to focus on. So through this position, I'm able to lead an entire organization, so to speak, through efforts of ambassadorship. And I think that is key, just given, all the things that are going on in this time that, we bring some of the things that they like to do to the forefront. That kind of covers a little bit of my experience. If I were to go a little bit more in depth, we would be here a little bit longer. But I want to turn it back over to Bill Newton, who is, as they say, our unofficial Dean of Fun. And we're going to do some trivia.
Yeah, let's go. All right, guys, it's trivia time. So this is where you guys get involved. So if you haven't already, pull out your phones or some other device besides the one you're using right here for Zoom and open up a web browser and go to that website. So it's just crowd.live/NU open house. Crowd.live/NU open house. And what we're going to do is actually a little bit of a tease as to one of the programs that we've done this semester. Is we've taken a lot of our program virtually, but I'm proud to say that we had over 30 successful virtual events this semester alone, and we're planning more next semester. So where students are engaged, they're winning prizes, they're winning money, they're seeing hypnotists or magicians or playing trivia, and really getting that student experience that we're looking for here in campus activities. So I'm going to share my screen. So you got a couple more seconds to get on that website. And here we go. All right, and actually Island is still involved. He's going to be kind of running the questions for us. So last chance, so crowd.live/NU open house. Oh, we're doing great. We got like almost 50 players logged in, so this is going to be good. All right, so here's the first hint. All right, the faster you answer the question, the more points you're going to get. And what are we playing for? Because you got to play for something. We got swag. You got to get your NU swag going. All right, so the first question, what is the name of the Netflix sequel to the show Full House? You've probably seen it. Full House 2, Fuller House, Fullest House, or The Fullest House Ever? My buddy Joey Gladstone over there. All right, so it looks like a lot of you are saying Fuller House. So you've been on Netflix these days. What else are we doing, right? And you have the right answer, so that's great. So there's 7 questions. So here's question number 2. After water, what's the most consumed beverage in the world? Soda or pop, depending on where you live, milk, tea, or coffee. Maybe on this campus, it's what we call Tim Hortons coffee, but I'm not saying that's the right answer or not. All right. Oh, you guys are saying coffee, but actually the real answer is C, tea. So around the world, certainly overseas, there is a lot of tea being consumed. As of 2020, which of these restaurant chains has the most outlets worldwide with over 41,000? You see a little Burger King icon there. I purposely took that out because that's not the answer. But is it Wendy's, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, or Subway? Famous stops for just about all college students, right? All right, let's see the answers. Oh, we're going pretty heavy on McDonald's on this one. And I guess maybe that was a little bit of a trick question because we've gone a little healthier the last couple of years. The answer is Subway. So, and I did look it up. There's 41,000 Subways and there's about 39,000 McDonald's chains. Question number 4. Here's our good friend T Swift. Released in 2006 when she was only 16. What was the name of Taylor Swift's first album? T Swift, Fearless, Taylor Swift, or Red? All right. Looks like the answers are all over the place. And the real answer is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. Lots of times the first album is, just their name. So let's see that leaderboard. All right, Kelly's in the lead, followed closely by Colin and Owen. So we got a lot of players, which is really awesome. So we've been doing this every Thursday, playing trivia with our students, and oftentimes we get well over 100 to 150 participants every week. All right, Alan, let's go to the next question here. Approximately how many bones are there how many bones does each adult have? 100, 200, 300, or 400? All right. Our answers, lots of us are saying 200, and yes, there are over 200 ways to break a bone in your body. And I've done a couple of them. Maybe you have too. All right, so there's 2 questions left. This Saturday Night Live actor did an impression of Alex Trebek, rest in peace, on more than one memorable episode. Who is this guy? Who is Burt Reynolds? Who is Will Ferrell? Who is Mike Myers, our new phone? Who dis? All right. Yes, I kind of gave that one to you. So the real answer is Will Ferrell, one of my favorites. All right, here's the last question. We had to get one question, Niagara related, in there. What's the name of our beloved NU mascot? Is it Sam the Eagle, Mr. Purple, Tom Burns, or Monty? All right, and the answers are in. Sam the Eagle. You know, all right, we're at Mr. Purple. Tom, you got some love there, and some Monty also. The answer is Monty. So our mascot is named Monty because our campus is located on Mont Eagle Ridge. All right, so the final results, today's winner is Colin McCarthy. All right, Colin, great job. You got 5 right, and it looks like you did it a little bit faster than everybody else. So we will get you our NU prize pack your way. But thank you, everyone, for playing and for getting a little bit of taste of our student experience this semester.
Thanks very much, Bill. That was fun. Thanks to Bill and Island for that. Congratulations, of course, to Colin. Great game winner there for a little fun break. Now we're going to go into what the heart of the collegiate experience is, our academics. And I can tell you personally, I am the father of 2 Niagara University graduates. I can tell you that they were both enriched with an outstanding academic experience at Niagara. Both my son and my daughter were embraced. They love the feel of the faculty there, the extension, the one-on-one relationships they have with the professors, the advisement. We actually, around dinner the other night, they were talking about professors and did you have this one? Oh, that one was great. Oh, he was great. She was wonderful. I saw this one at Wegmans. They're great. So that relationship lives on beyond the time of graduating. And I'm going to introduce you to the deans and the directors of the 4 academic colleges, plus our School of Nursing and our national award-winning academic exploration program for students who might be torn between majors and not sure. And both of my students did the academic exploration program and spoke very highly about that. Each representative is going to give a general overview of their sector, and you'll have the opportunity to talk to them more in depth in the breakout rooms in a little bit. So we're going to ask them to keep this to 5 minutes. You will, over the course of the next few minutes, meet the Interim Dean of Nursing, Margarita Coyne, our Interim Dean of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Dr. Young-Soo Choi. You will meet the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Chandra Foote, the Dean of the College of Business Administration, Dr. Mark Frascator, and the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Pete Butera. But we're going to start it with the Director of the Academic Exploration Program and then run right through there. Remember, 5 minutes, and if I have to play the music to break you up, I will. My pleasure to turn it over to Carolyn Mackey. Carolyn, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you for that. And thank you for your kind words about our program. And we certainly enjoyed having your children participate in it, in the program. They did us a solid by honoring us with their time and all that they learned from academic exploration. So good morning, everyone. Yes, I have 5 minutes, so let's get it all in. The opening speaker student, Kelsey, mentioned concerns that students might have in higher education. And if you are not exactly sure about a major yet that you would select once you would start at a university, well, then that's obviously a concern of yours. And I'm here to assure you that this program is designed to help you exactly with that. So first and foremost, let me tell you this much. It's going to be all right. It's going to work out. It's okay to feel this way about not being entirely decided on a major. And this program is unique to Niagara. That's one thing you should know about our university being special in many ways. But one of them is this program to help students decide majors. So we're a program that's entirely dedicated to this student population, and to know that you're in good company. On average, we have 15 to 20% of the incoming freshman class participating in our program every year, which means there's a fair amount of you out there. And these students break down to 3 categories. So maybe this will sound like yourself for those of you in attendance today. Maybe you're one of those students that's saying, I have absolutely no idea what I would select and where I would start with that process. Or you're in the second group that says, I have 2, 3, or more majors in mind that I would be considering. So how do I go about deciding between all of those options? And then the last group might be students who are heavily leaning in one direction, but they're just not exactly ready to commit. And they figure, well, I might as well be in the program, because if it's not exactly what I expect, then there I am for plan B, to participate in this program and help the decision be made. So what are the 2 cornerstones of our program? Experiential learning and academic advisement. So experiential learning, what do we mean by that? We mean that getting outside of the classroom and having hands-on real life experiences to learn a little bit more about a major or a connected career. So you heard Stephanie Morris from Career Services speak earlier, and she put up a list of all kinds of events that are being hosted on the campus and by all the various areas. So the deans of all the colleges, they're going to speak next. So you're going to hear information about their areas and what events might be taking place over the course of an academic year. So what's good to know is that all of these areas are wonderfully supportive of our students. AEP students are invited to participate in these events. So you may go to one of these opportunities and learn a little bit more about a major or a connected career. And these are all the things that academic advisors in our program will help you to set up. So that's one big area. And what's the other area? The academic advisement. So we pay careful attention to helping students choose courses each semester that they're with us in the program to make sure they're fulfilling degree requirements. So this careful planning assures that we are keeping students on a 4-year graduation path. So that's one of the biggest concerns students might have about exploring. Is it going to set me behind? And it's a resounding no in our program. So not only is it to explore majors that you may be interested in and take courses towards those majors, but also we're here to help you plan through academic advisement all the goals that you want to achieve at the university. Maybe you're interested in a double major or adding minors or pursuing some of the internships that have been mentioned, or even study abroad. We're here to hopefully support you set up all of those plans that you can embark on. So not just what you decide while you're with us in the program, but what you want to achieve during your whole entire experience at Niagara. So lastly, what else can I emphasize? Holistic support. So everyone on this amazing team that I have the honor to lead in academic exploration wants to make sure that students not only get help with deciding their majors, but that they also get effective referrals to other areas that they might need help in. So where's the writing center? How do I sign up for tutoring? I have financial aid issues. So all the things that we can support students to make sure all of their needs are being met during their time in our program. So this is just a brief overview. I'm going to look forward to speaking more in depth about the program with those of you who care to join me after all of the speakers finish and we break out into our separate sessions. But lastly, I just want to wish you the very best with the academic year that you're dealing with and all that students are going through during this time and challenges with being online. So hang in there day by day. I have confidence that you can do it. And we're all here to support you in that process as well. So thank you so much for your time and attention. I look forward to meeting with some of you very soon. Have a great day.
Great job, Carolyn. We're going to turn things over to Pete Butera. Pete, Carolyn stayed right on the 5-minute mark too, so a little pressure for you.
All right, Tom, I'm going to give it a shot. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Butera, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and Professor of Psychology here at Niagara. As I was reflecting on what I want to share with you during our short time together, I thought about a question. If I were you, a prospective student or a parent of a prospective student, why choose Niagara University? Or more specifically, for many of you here with us, why choose a major that's a part of the College of Arts and Sciences? So to answer that question, I want to share 3 key points with you this morning. And the first point I want to share with you about the answer to that question is the diversity that you find in the College of Arts and Sciences. As you can see on this slide, we have 38 undergraduate majors, over 50 academic minors, several accelerated 4+1 and 4+2 programs, and 3+3 accelerated programs with UB and St. John's law schools. And I'd be happy to talk more about those accelerated programs with you in our chat later on. We also have 3 master's programs in criminal justice, cybersecurity and operations, and interdisciplinary studies where students can pursue a concentration in social justice as part of that master's program. The second point that I'd like to share with you to answer that question, why choose a major in the College of Arts and Sciences at Niagara University, I think is illustrated on the next slide. The College of Arts and Sciences is home to highly credentialed faculty, outstanding educators, nationally and internationally recognized scholars and scientists who take teaching and learning seriously. We have faculty that consistently win our Excellence in Teaching Award. That's university-wide. With regard to their doctoral training, scholarship, and research, our faculty match up with the faculty at any university. The R1 schools like UB, University of Rochester, Syracuse, and the selective liberal arts schools like Colgate, Hamilton, and Swarthmore. And the final point that I'd like to leave you with here today in answer to that question, why choose a major in the College of Arts and Sciences, really centers on accessibility and student-faculty interactions. And you heard Kelsey kind of speak a little bit about that at the beginning of our program. Our faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences are accessible and engaged with students on campus in a variety of ways. During your time at Niagara, you'll have the opportunity to work with professors on a research project and present that research at regional and international conferences. During my years as a faculty member in the psychology department, I mentored over 30 undergraduate honors theses that were conducted in my lab, and probably more than twice that number of students that worked in my lab as an independent study or as a volunteer. You'll also work with professors as part of your internships, as all departments in the College of Arts and Sciences offer internships, where students earn course credit for their work at off-campus sites. Several of you with us today are interested in our pre-med, pre-vet programs. So internships are a key part of our pre-health programs, where students interested in careers in healthcare work side by side with medical professionals in Niagara and Erie counties. In fact, over 3/4 of our students, so our graduates in the College of Arts and Sciences, will have completed at least one internship during their time at NU. And that's just scratching the surface on the kinds of student-faculty relationships you'll be able to develop as a student here at Monteagle Ridge. So thank you for taking time out of your Saturday morning to spend it with us during our what is now virtual open house. And if you want to take a picture on your phone of the slide that's on your screen now, feel free to reach out and contact me via email. You can visit our website, give us a call, and as Tom mentioned earlier, stop by campus and pay us a visit. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Peter. Great to have you with us. We're going to turn things over to the College of Business Administration now, and Dr. Mark Frascatore, our Dean of the College.
Thanks, Tom, and welcome everyone. It's good to see you all here on Saturday morning. So as Tom said, I'm Mark Frascatore. I'm the Dean of the College of Business. I'm actually a local boy. I grew up in Tonawanda, went to Kenmore East High School. I saw in the audience a couple Kenmore West High School students, so I'll forgive you for that. So let me talk a little bit about the College of Business. And I guess what I'll do is I'll talk about what business really is. My understanding is that a lot of freshmen coming in don't really know exactly what it is. Let me just give you some key points and some things that we emphasize that might give you some guidance if you want to major in business. Business is really about a number of things like creativity. Think about marketing and branding products and making them appealing to people that you want to sell them to. Think about analytical thinking. So think of forecasting, financial markets, predicting the stock markets, logistics of bringing a product to market. Think of being an owner of a supermarket in the midst of COVID, where you must continue to operate and operate safely and bring food so that people can put it on the table. So think about managing and using technology. Think of analyzing big data, understanding tech software that's used in finance and accounting, spreadsheets used in the operation of any organization. Think of understanding and managing people. Think of motivating employees, recruiting and hiring the right people. Think of leading. Think of effectively running a sector or a business or a nonprofit organization. These are all business components, and these are all things that you would learn if you pursue a business major. Think of putting them all together. What if you're an entrepreneur and you need to bring a product to market? You need to know how to write a business plan. You need to know how to understand potential consumers and demand, how to finance the operation, to get loans, how to hire and train the right people, how to motivate them, how to source your materials, manufacture, bring your products to market, how to keep track of costs, revenues, and forecasts and market changes. These are complex components that a business major will give you. What if all of this, by the way, appeals to you and you have no idea what you really want? Now, we do have our excellent academic exploration program, but if you think you want business, you can come in just as a business major, a business student, and choose your major later. So come in and see, take some accounting courses, take some finance courses, economics, whatever, and see what you like. If you think you want to be an accounting major, I would still encourage you, don't choose your major just yet. Come in as a business major. You're going to have into your sophomore year to choose your major. So be a business major, take the courses in the different disciplines and see what you like. And then work with your advisor and the assistant dean, Kelly Asklar, to help choose a major that you really like. So if we can move on to our next slide here, let me talk a little bit about what majors we offer. So we offer majors in accounting, and you can minor in fraud examination. You could major in economics, in finance, marketing. And in marketing, there is a concentration in food and consumer packaged goods. A lot of these students go on to work for Rich Products or Wegmans, places like that. And you can you can major in management. And there are 3 concentrations there: human resource management, international management, and global supply chain management. So we cover the complete gamut here, depending on what your interests might be. As the previous slide said, faculty here are also teachers, they're scholars, they're mentors, and they're practitioners. So our faculty have experience in the field, in industry, and they have connections that way. And what we teach you is the theory and then the understanding of the application. We do business visits, business competitions against other universities, conferences. As you see here, we have clubs that are associated with every major. And by the way, if you want to be in the marketing club, for example, you don't need to be a marketing major. In fact, I would encourage you, even if you're a finance major, join the marketing club and learn a little bit about something else. We offer internships, or we help place students in internships and study abroad opportunities. And of course, at the end of the day, we have a 97% placement rate with excellent salaries. So in fact, accounting has a 100% placement rate. Also, you can do your MBA in 1 additional year. You could spend 4 years as an undergraduate and then finish your MBA or your Master of Science in Finance in 1 more year with the undergraduate program that you get here. So I think I'm right at the 5-minute mark. So I'll follow Pete Butera's bar there, and I'll turn it back over to Tom.
Thanks, Mark. That's great. And now we're going to shift things over to the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Chandra Foote. Chandra?
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here today to talk to you a little bit about programs within the College of Education. Obviously, within education, we're looking at people who have an interest in becoming teachers. You will note from my PowerPoint slide over there that we are accredited by CAPE, the Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation. We are one of only a few, and there are hundreds of programs in New York State. We were one of only a few in New York State who have this national accreditation, and that is the only nationally recognized accreditor in the US, which makes your teaching certification and teaching degree much more portable nationally and internationally. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the key points of distinction for our programs at Niagara University within teacher education. Because as you compare and contrast, there are some things that, not necessarily already being in the profession, you might not know what to ask and what to think about when you're making your decision. One of the things that makes Niagara very unique is that our candidates become education majors and actually start within their program in the very first semester. Other schools may permit you to be admitted as an education major, but you don't start taking education courses until your junior year. You don't want to wait till your junior year and find out you don't actually even like the idea of teaching. That's a little bit late. So our candidates take education courses every semester, all throughout their program. And they start taking field experiences early and in every semester throughout the program, so that they could have up to 9 different internships beginning with their first one right in the first semester. You heard Kelsey at the very beginning, and she's one of our Pride and Joy students within the College of Education. And she said she already had 6 placements. And as she goes into student teaching, she'll have 2 different placements in the near future. So our candidates can have up to 9 different internships. Sometimes they go back to the same place more than once. Sometimes they change. But the nice thing about bullets 1 and 2, that you start as a freshman in the major and you start field experiences as a freshman, is you get to explore the field of education and find out where you actually want to fit. A lot of students come in thinking they like the little ones. Oh, I want to be a kindergarten teacher. And then they go out there into a field experience and like, I don't want 18 around me all of the time. And so you have an opportunity to move and change within the profession. I'll show you in a minute a little bit more about our majors. And it's important that you have all of these different field experiences, because the market in education right now is unbelievable. For the last 3 years, all of our students who wanted jobs as teachers upon graduation had jobs as teachers within a year. Some of them, 97% of them, wanted to go right out and start working. 3% of them started to commit full-time to their graduate coursework. And so we've been tracking our students all along the way, but most of them also were doing teaching and grad work at the same time. We have outstanding pass rates on the New York State certification exams. And there are 3 exams that all candidates seeking New York State certification have to complete and pass before they can become certified. Minimally 3, there are sometimes more. When you compare Niagara to other institutions, you want to be able to compare pass rates on those tests. And the other little tip I want to give you is, if you look and you see that an institution has 100% pass rate on all of their exams, what I'm going to tell you is you want to steer clear of there, because they're not letting you graduate until you pass, so that they have these outstanding, wonderful pass rates. But if you don't have your bachelor's degree, there's a lot of things you can't do, including getting a salary and substitute teaching jobs in schools while you wait that out. So for the few candidates who don't get perfect scores the first time they take things, we let them graduate. We stick with them. We tutor them. We support them in getting that those exams passed, but we don't hold them up from graduating. And then the last point of distinction that I wanted to share with you is that we have a number of options in 4+1 or 4+2 graduate programs, which allows our undergraduate students as early as their junior year to start taking graduate courses, so that they can very, very quickly finish that master's degree as well as the undergraduate degree in a short period of time. And the master's degree is a requirement for professional certification in New York State. And that allows you to actually count courses both at the undergraduate and graduate level, and add certifications to your resume. So if we can forward to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit real briefly, and I will have an opportunity after the session to stay on for a different Zoom for people who want some more details about the majors that we have within the College of Education here at Niagara University. First off, we have early childhood and childhood education, which gets people certified birth to grade 6. We have childhood and middle childhood education, certified grades 1 to 9. We have middle and adolescence, which is grades 5 to 12. adolescents, grades 7 to 12. Candidates can get special education certification simultaneously with other certifications. So you can get 1 to 6 and 1 to 6 special ed, or 7 to 12 and 7 to 12 special ed. And TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages, which is a really interesting program option for candidates here at Niagara University. We try to make sure that all of our candidates leave with at least 2 certifications and options for additional certifications so that they are the most marketable that they can be. And I talk as fast as I possibly can, but as I said, I will be on after this. And if you want to go back up one more slide, 2 more slides, just to get to my contact information. If anybody wants to take a quick photo of that, you can contact me later, but I can also be on for the next session. Back to you.
Thanks, Chandra. That's great. You squeezed it all in. Used a little of the extra time that Mark and Pete had left you, but that's okay. That's fine. We're going to turn things over to Dr. Young-Soo Choi, who is doing a great job serving as interim dean of the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. Young-Soo, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you. Boy, my picture looks so young. That was probably 5-6 years ago, right? When I joined here. Welcome, everyone. My name is Young-Soo Choi. I'm the interim dean at the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. And this is my 8th year. I'm originally from South Korea. Talking about diversity here, right? I guess I'm the only interim dean or dean at the university as an Asian, which I'm pretty proud of. As you can tell, our college's name says it all. Our College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. We are built on the concept of hospitality, which is treating and serving people, other people, even strangers, with a great goodwill and generosity and friendliness, which is core mission of the whole service industry, which is well represented in our 3 majors. We are a very small college with a few majors: hotel, restaurant management, and sport management, and tourism and recreation management. 3 management programs. For example, sport event. Why do we have 3 majors under one umbrella? If you can take a look at sport event, it's not just a game. There are fans, visitors doing tourism activity. They stay in a hotel, they eat, F&B component, they attend the events and recreation activities. Now you see why those 3 majors are under one umbrella. You may think other programs probably have a similar setting. No. I used to work at great programs like Penn State, University of Central Florida, with 50 to 75,000 students. But they only have one specific major. So like Penn State have a hotel management program alone. UCF have hotel management and tourism, no sports. So I love this setting, which create tremendously positive synergy effect in terms of our students' academic learning and professional endeavors. Next, please. So a few unique thing about our program. All our faculty, full-time faculty, have either PhD or JD, terminal degree, with a enormous amount of academic and professional experiences they can bring to the in class and outside. Even part-time faculty, we are not just finding someone in the neighborhood. Okay, for example, president of Buffalo YMCA, he is our part-time faculty, and former president of Buffalo Bisons, the AAA baseball team, Rich Baseball, he is our part-time faculty. Okay, CEO of a restaurant chain, GM of hotel, they are actually bringing invaluable knowledge and skills and abilities and industry trend and issues into the class. So that complements a lot of academic or theoretic offerings in class. And as other colleges, the same situations. Well, we are small private institutions, unlike the previous institution I've been affiliated with. So we have a very proud one-on-one advisement. Every semester, every full-time faculty meet with their advisees, talking about their class and experience. But it's not just the academic component. All the faculties are involved in experiential learning opportunities, which many of the people before me, including Ms. Morris at Career Services, we work very closely with Ms. Morris' office in terms of arranging a lot of the experiential learning opportunities, internships and co-ops and so on and forth. Alumni. As I said, I worked at the Penn State and UCF, which is about 5 to 10 times bigger than our programs. I've never seen any dedicated alumni coming back and try to give back to our programs and students. These are very unique alumni, which I'm very proud of. We just have a virtual alumni advantage event, which is our annual ritual to develop mentor and mentee relationship with our students. They try to give it back, provide some job opportunities, network in the industry, and we were successful in terms of providing, even though it's not as same as face-to-face, we successfully finished the virtual event, which I believe Caitlin and Island participated. Next, please. All right, so the unique thing about our university, I mean, they talked about experiential learning opportunities. Domestically, we offer probably between 12 and 13 high impact site visits, the travel tours, where we go to international conventions, hotel conventions in New York City every fall. In May, we bring our students to the major restaurant shows in Chicago, which we weren't able to do it this year because of COVID, but hopefully with the vaccines and everything, we're very hopeful that we can resume it. And in the sports side, we are the only college own and operate collegiate baseball, summer collegiate baseball team, so-called Niagara Power. Again, we weren't able to do it last summer, but next year, I hope will be the third season. We won the championship last year in just the season 2. It's completely operated and managed and run by our students by the supervision of a faculty member. And we bring our students to the Major League Baseball spring training in Jupiter and the West Palm. And we bring our students to Super Bowl games. One of the most unique thing about our experiential learning opportunity is this summer-long 10+ week international programs. One with our partner in Lake Como, which have several luxury hotels. Our students work abroad during the summer and get 12 credits, and they graduate a semester early. And another component is cultural immersion program in Lima and Cusco in Peru. And they go and take some classes, get involved in community services, and do a little bit of mini internship as well. So both programs are very, very unique settings, successfully run for the past 13, 14 years. There's also dual degree program with our partner in the Bad Honnef, Germany. It's 3-in-1 type of dual degree program. No extra tuition, you just pay tuition here and finish your program at the Bad Honnef. And German students are coming here too. And some sports students go to London to do a site visit in the European sports in January as well. These programs are actually offered with pretty significant financial support thanks to our foundations like Stettler Foundations, Hyatt Foundations, or private donors, companies like Marani Hotel Groups, Mets. We are very fortunate we have benefactors who try to give back, and it's only earmarked to cover significant portion of our students' travel expenses. So the idea is the money should not be the major hurdle for our students so that they can take advantage of these very unique programs. Next, please. All right, some of these experiential learning opportunities are provided through our student association. Island Jenkins, he talked about Club Management Association of America, which we are very proud of. We are #1 in the country 11 years in a row. We are probably one of the smallest Club Management Association student chapter, but we are beating some major prestigious state universities every year, year in and year out, because of the rigor, because of the impact of the student experience they get from CMAA. Similarly, Hotel Tourism Association, Sport Management Association, thanks to our alumni, thanks to our industry partner support, we put together twice a year site visits, education sessions. In addition to our 800-hour practicum hours, their working requirement, these arrangements really helps our students to get quality job, supervisory job upon graduation, right? We don't want our students to get frontline job when they graduate. They should already have 1,200 hours of good experience, diverse experience under their belt. They should stand out from the competitors, and which is attested by a lot of the employers reaching out to us, specifically looking for Niagara University's College of Hospitality and Tourism Management graduates only through our career fairs offered through our Career Services Office again. We also have a Hospitality Honor Society as well. For every year we induct quite a few students in the Honor Society as well. And next slide, I think that's my contact information. But Ms. Bradshaw, our Assistant Dean, is with me. And toward the end of the event, I was told there's academic chat. So if you're interested in our college program, more in-depth, maybe Q&A, I'll be here with Ms. Bradshaw. And I'm looking forward to have further conversation. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, that's great. Thanks. Yes, we'll do the breakout sessions with the different sectors following this, so that'll be a great time for people to ask more in-depth questions. We're going to turn it over to one of the legacy programs, certainly at Niagara University, the School of Nursing, and Maggie Coyne, who heads that up. And in addition to her work on the academic side, she was an integral part of our working group that created the health and safety environment to get us to be able to reopen safely. And our nurses are across the world now working on this pandemic, and it's incredible to see to have them start at Niagara. So just for 5 minutes, Maggie, fill us in on the program, and I know it's tough to squeeze it in there, but ladies and gentlemen, Maggie Coyne.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to wrap things up, and I'm going to kind of run through the nursing program. Tom, thank you. Yes, I was involved with the public health committees as we looked at how to keep our students safe. And I'm very proud of the work that we did. I have been in nursing 41 years, and I can't think of a better profession. Please, no offense to anybody else, but I have thoroughly enjoyed where I am, and working with Niagara University has added an element to my learning. What I'd like you to think about as you're considering nursing school, for those of you who are here, you're saying, well, why Niagara? Explain to me why I should come to Niagara. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I have 3 very good reasons. Number one is that when you start as a freshman, you are a nursing student. Other programs, other 4-year programs may have you go through the first 2 years, freshman, sophomore, where you do the sciences. And we do the same. You have sciences, anatomy and physiology, microbiology. You will end up doing statistics. It's a science-founded profession. So that will happen. However, at Niagara, you will start your freshman first semester taking a nursing course. It's Foundations of Nursing. And that kind of gives the student an idea of what nursing is about. And this would be a point where a student might say, hey, not for me. But on the other hand, it opens the eyes to our students to what nursing is, how exciting it is, and just exactly how did this profession evolve. The second thing that is great about our program is that in the sophomore second semester, you are in taking care of patients. You are in your clinical sites. Now, how do you get there? There are courses that you will take freshman year as foundations, as I said, and then you will take concepts, which actually teaches you how do you put your hands on another human being? How do you use a stethoscope? What about that blood pressure cuff? How do I put it on a human being? We go through skills labs with you in the first 3 courses, and then you take a health assessment course in your first semester as a sophomore. So you are moving right into that patient care experience that you get in second semester. Now, what I would also point out is that we have small classes. Our theory classes where you learn med-surg nursing, OB peds, psych, community, those are roughly 30 students. When you get to the skills labs have been broken down to 8 to 10 students. And certainly with COVID, we have had to do some rearranging of our labs so our students are appropriately distanced and are in a safe learning environment. The other thing is when you go to the clinical sites, when you're actually taking care of patients, you are working with 1 clinical professor and with the nurses on the nursing units. So that ends up being 8 to 10 students. And some of that is prescribed by New York state law. The other thing we want you to keep in mind is the different sites that we go to. We go to ECMC, Kaleida, Catholic Health. We work with VNA for our community students. We go to Oshai for pediatric. Here in Niagara Falls, we have Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center and Mount St. Mary's. So that allows us to get our students right in, close to the patients and doing the different experiences that they are doing in the classroom. The other thing we have is a simulation lab, and we are re-examining and looking at how we can make some changes with that. We recognize that there is potential that we will have to work hard to get our students in clinical sites as we continue with the COVID virus. Now, I would share with you last spring was a very challenging experience for all of us. We worked with our students, we worked with general counsel on campus, with our provost, we worked with our faculty, and what we did was, as well as the hospital sites, is we determined what was safe for our students and then how to proceed. We did keep our students in clinical experiences right through to the end of the semester, and we even worked to get makeup time done in the summer semester. So what I would add to this, and then what I'm going to wrap up with, is we are very connected and very tied to our students. Our small classes, our faculty in both clinical as well as in the classroom are knowledgeable and experienced nurses. And we look forward to working and putting nurses out in the community. So I'm going to wrap that up and say any other questions we'll pick up in our breakout session, and there you are. I will add that Mrs. Laura Holthouse is the heart and the pulse of the nursing school, and I'm available to talk, but she has a fount of knowledge that she will share with you. So again, thank you for coming out on Saturday. I'm going to wrap it up.
Thanks, Maggie. That's great. Great to have you here. Of course, thanks to all the nurses who are out there helping keep all of us safe. Thanks again to all the academic leaders. Hopefully we've been able to answer some of the questions you've had about what separates Niagara University from the other colleges you may be considering. That is my dumb dog in the background. I apologize. If you have other questions, you can reach out to our admissions office at any time. We've had the information up there, and I'm sure Ben will share that with you in a minute. And we're going to ask them now as we transition to our live question and answer session, so you can always ask the questions today. Joining us to respond to the questions that you've been typing in the boxes, if we have not answered them, are several members from our admissions team, along with representatives from our student support services. I'm going to turn it over to Ben Asher, co-director of the first year enrollment, who's been tracking your questions through the online chat. Ben, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Again, a big thank you to everyone, all the students, prospective students, and their families that have joined us today. Excited to have you on here. I know it's been quite a lengthy show already. I've got a few questions that have been asked in the chat box that I just want to address here. I do want to do a quick reminder as well that here shortly we're going to be posting the links to our separate meetings. That's going to take you into specific colleges and programs to meet with the deans that you just heard from. It's going to give you a chance to ask them more specific questions. I know we had some that were related specifically to those colleges and programs. So please go on to there. And as I mentioned, each one of those meetings, in those meetings, we're going to be entering anyone who attends those separate meetings in for some additional NU swag. Each meeting will have a winner come out of it, and we'll be reaching out to you later next week to notify you if you were the winner from those meetings. So please join us during those meetings. I'm going to kick it off. We did have one question, an easy question, about if students are able to have vehicles on campus. And I'm going to spotlight one of our students, Caitlin, who does not have a vehicle on campus, but she can at least tell you a little bit about some fees that would go with it, as well as what her life is like on campus without a car. Caitlin?
Hi. Okay. So like mentioned, I am a student here on campus. I'm a double major in marketing and hospitality, and I do live on campus. So I started off my freshman semester in Seton Hall in the freshman dorms, and then I actually moved over to Lynch, which is one of our upperclassmen dorms, which are mostly singles here, as mentioned in residence life. I, though, do not have a car on campus. So you can, as a freshman, have a car on campus, and actually it is very, very affordable in comparison to other schools. You only have to pay $90 a semester, or if you want to wait to your second semester, you pay $60. Very, very good thing, because most schools that you're looking at either don't allow freshmen to have cars, or it's very expensive, or there isn't a lot of parking, and we have all three of those. which makes it very easy to get back and forth between the community and our local locations. However, if you do not have a car like me, there are plenty of options to kind of get around on campus. We have a NU shuttle that runs specifically for students. It's our shopping shuttle that our campus activities and CPB kind of puts on, and then they post the dates that they are going to take people out. And they do that by hour, every hour during the days that they have scheduled. Another cool factor is that right in the middle of campus, we have the Niagara bus system that allows for transportation. They take you just about everywhere as well. They are safe, and it is very, very affordable, if not free for students, all of the transportation here on campus. We are very, very close to a lot of big locations. We are 5 minutes from Lewiston, which is a beautiful historical kind of feeling district, 5 minutes from Niagara Falls, which is a huge tourism district, 20 minutes from Buffalo, and 90 minutes from Toronto, right across the border. So having that kind of ability to have so much transportation and have a car on campus as a freshman is very beneficial, and is a big part of NU because we are so involved with the community. But like I said, you don't need a car to get involved with your community either. Living on campus for me, I'll talk a little bit about how I think that's impacted me and why I think living on campus is important. Being a freshman this year, it has really renovated and changed my life to live on campus. You're living alone for the first time with friends, you're meeting so many people. And for me, the biggest impact was the amount of student leaders I had met throughout my time here. And honestly, they are the people who are getting me involved. They have pushed me, and academically, I have a space where I can sit down, whereas you guys have probably realized that sometimes working from home or working online as a student isn't as productive. I think that my dorm room is definitely a little more productive for me than what my childhood bedroom would be. So you have that opportunity, but as well as for just academic success, you're right next to the library, you're really close to your professors, you're right on campus for all of the events. It's way easier to get involved and to stay up with everything and stay organized when you're here on campus. And I think it's very beneficial. And you meet so many people who do end up making connections, because sometimes in your industries, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And having those very beneficial connections with high-rated professors and intelligent students and other leaders and influential alumni, it's amazing and something you don't tend to find as well at some of the bigger schools. So with that in mind, I'll hand it back on over to Ben Asher to kind of get us going.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for joining us today. Caitlin was one of just quite a large group of amazing students that I had the pleasure of working with last year, which leads me to the next student that I want to bring on, Victoria Gupel, another amazing student that I got to work with from Niagara Wheatfield. I'll have her do her intro as well, but we had a comment from somebody about how nice it was to see Kelsey do her introduction and why she chose NU. And I really wanted Victoria to just spotlight quickly, her choice to attend NU as well, and ways that she's connected on campus. So, Victoria.
All right, thank you, Ben. Hi, my name is Victoria Gupel. I am a marketing major from Wheatfield, New York. Wheatfield is about 15 to 20 minutes away from campus. So unlike Caitlin, I am actually a commuter student. I do have my own car on campus. I would say when it comes to being a commuter, it's super easy for me to get involved on campus, whether it's through the clubs that are offered through campus activities. I am personally a part of NUMA, which is Niagara University's Marketing Association. There's also club sports on campus, and there's also those fun clubs like Disney Club, or there's many more like that. When it comes to being a commuter on campus, you may ask yourself, how do you get involved? You're not right in the center of being a student. When it comes to a resident student, you're not always on campus. And I'd say personally for myself, it was super easy to get involved. I work on campus in the admissions office alongside the admissions counselors, as well as within the marketing department, which is also located in the admissions office. These two experiences has really helped me gain a better understanding of what I want to do within my career going forward, as well as being on campus in other places that I necessarily wouldn't expect myself to be. When it comes to locations for commuters to hang out around campus, I like to always highlight my favorite place to hang out, which is Gallagher Center, which is known to NU students as Galley. It's a little hangout area that kind of reminds me of a food court style situation where there's several different restaurants around, as well as lounging areas for sitting to study or hanging out with friends in smaller groups. This area has definitely helped me gain some friendships when it comes to just walking up to people, saying hi, chatting with anyone that's hanging out around there. But definitely for sure, as a commuter student, I can confidently say that through my experience, only for the first semester that I've been here so far, I've already gained a ton of new friendships, a ton of new experiences, and definitely being a commuter student, I can proudly say that NU is a great school for being a commuter. I will pass it back to Ben. Thank you.
Victoria, thanks for joining us. I'm super jealous of your background. That looks spectacular. I just have a window and a curtain. So props to you on the cool background. I have one other question that I'm going to have one of our admissions counselors join us for just to address. We had a couple of questions that were related to AP credits, transfer credits, things like that. And then there's one or two more that I'm going to address myself, but for now I'm going to turn this over to Bridget Gorman, a recent NU graduate in admissions, Senior Assistant Director of Admissions in our office.
Thanks, Ben. I want to give a quick shout out to my international students who have hopped on today too. Thank you guys so much for hopping on, considering the time difference. But when it comes to transfer and AP credits, it is really a case-by-case basis. So we will work with you one-on-one. Just submit your scores and your transcript to us and we'll make those fit into your course card as much as we can. Just for your reference too, we are looking for usually a 3 on AP scores, as Stephanie mentioned earlier. And then all of our students we are a liberal arts school, so all of our students are required to complete an English class, a history class, a science class, a language, and then 3 philosophy classes and 3 religion.
Thanks, Bridget. If anyone has questions specifically to their transfer credits or anything like that, you can always reach out. As Bridget had mentioned, it's important for us that we're able to look at each student and determine kind of where they're at. So there were a couple other questions. I don't want to steal too much of arts and sciences thunder here. Like I said, we're going to have these academic sessions just here really shortly. But there was a specific question about social work and how that stood out. If you go through any of our programs, you can see online a lot of information, reaching out, talking to these programs very specifically, and going to these academic sessions that we're going to host right now is super important because it gives you a chance to talk to them and understand what is important. But just to answer that question, I believe that was coming from Dakota. Our program is actually accredited through the CSWE. I believe that's the Council for Social Work Education. There's only about 500 or so colleges that have their baccalaureate programs accredited through that. And if you think about that number, there's over 4,000 colleges just here in the United States across the country. So we're in the small group of colleges that are accredited through that program, which makes us stand out and makes us different compared to some of our competitors. So, but again, if you want to know more, go to this next session with arts and sciences. The last question that did come in was regarding outside scholarships, which we had mentioned earlier. What are they? These are the scholarships that you might get from your local community, from your high school, from national organizations. There's a big one out there. If you make your prom dress out of duct tape, it's a $10,000 scholarship. That's called Stuck at Prom. Go check it out. This is the only time in your guys' lives that people want to give you free money. I just recently bought a house and all of my colleagues and all of my friends were not giving me free money. But there are these opportunities for you right now as future college students to take advantage of. If you need help finding those, I can recommend come to our office, chat with us. We would be happy to kind of point some of that stuff in the right direction, point you in the right direction for some of those scholarships. Go to your college, your high school counselors. They've got information and links and places for you to apply as well. So if you have more questions about that, again, reach out to us. Happy to walk through that and get you guys connected. But as far as this section of the Q&A right now, that wraps it up as far as the questions that we had in the chat. I think at this point, we're going to post the links for you guys to go and join the separate meetings. As you see on the screen right now, we have a number of other events coming up. I know that you are here today. So what's the point of attending another event? All of these events are different. You know, we have panels, we have a variety of different things that you should join us just to learn more in depth about your program, about NU, what's coming up. Here's the January events as well. And we're working on a February event. We're working on events all through the summer, ways to keep you guys connected. And I believe that's going to wrap up our show. As you see in the chat box, there are the links to the next meetings. I encourage you again, please join those meetings. Ask as many questions as you want, get to know the deans. They're going to remember you. And again, from everybody here at Niagara, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if Tom's coming back on or if I'm the close here. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. If anyone stays on and does have questions regarding where they should be, go ahead and throw those in the chat box and we'll get you directed to the right place. As you see, I should have mentioned this, we're showing off all of where the programs are and which meetings they should go to. So if you're unsure of where you should go, reach out in the chat box really quickly and we'd be happy to direct you towards the right meeting.
Ben, can you get me to the right spot? I've lost the link.
I sure can. I've got the link right here.
Links in the chat, folks. Can you see the chat room?
No, that was in the chat for the old one. It's cleaned.
Yeah, we can't see the chat rooms to go
You
into.
can't.
No.
Okay, I'll have Matt post again.
Yeah, if you can, Sarah, because it's just the screen went blank.
Oh wow. Okay, because I could see it here. Interesting.
When you come on, it clears until you started. Here it is. Okay.
There you go.
College of Education.
He's got to post the chat rooms.
You guys have it now?
I got it. Thanks.
Chris, do you see it?
Meeting.
Oh, so they left and then came back. And they didn't see it.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Chris, did you get it?
I got it, but I don't know how to go into it.
If you click on the link itself, it should take you, at least ask you to join it, hopefully.
They can probably see my face.
No, I don't see it.
The link isn't coming up.
Let me just text Young Soo and see if he wants to help answer questions.
You want to just like put them back where like I'm kind of parked as soon as I pull up? Yeah. All right, let me know if you need any other help on.
Well,
notice there's still a small group of students here. Do you guys have any questions on where we can get you directed to, or anything that we can help address with you still here? If so, you can throw it in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute here and we can help address it. I noticed we still have, looks like Barb, Brooke, and Brima. I just wanted to check in one more time and see if you guys had any questions or if we could direct you guys anywhere.
Links are posted again, just in case they disappeared for some of you.
Hi, Brima. I noticed you did the raise your hand. How can I help? Thank you, Sarah and Matt, for running the behind the scenes stuff. I think things went great.
Thanks everyone for attending. Thanks, Ben. Looking forward to seeing everybody on campus.